Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving into the world of film, theater, and literature.
I'm excited to be here.
Me too. By the end of this deep dive, you'll be able to analyze your favorite works and impress your friends with your insightful observations. Whether you're prepping for a class, a book club, or just love geeking out about stories, this is for you.
Absolutely. Having a grasp of the fundamental elements of storytelling and a few key terms can really enhance your appreciation and make those conversations much more meaningful.
It's amazing how a little knowledge can unlock so much.
Definitely.
Speaking of unlocking things, did you know the longest film ever made clocks in over 35 days?
Wow, that's a huge commitment.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
We'll share more fun trivia later.
Sounds good.
But first, let's get down to business. Any good story, whether it's on stage, screen, or the page, has a few essential building blocks.
Right.
Where do we even begin?
Well, it all starts with understanding the core elements: plot, character, and theme. Think of them as the DNA of any compelling narrative.
Okay, plot seems pretty straightforward. It's the sequence of events, right?
Exactly.
The what happens of the story.
Yes. A strong plot keeps you engaged, wondering what's going to happen next. But it's more than just a series of events. A well-crafted plot is deliberate, building tension, creating conflicts, and ultimately leading to a resolution.
I see.
Think about a film like Inception. The way it weaves together multiple layers of reality keeps the audience guessing until the very last frame.
Oh, that's a great example. I remember being so blown away by that movie.
It's definitely a mind bender.
And then there are characters, the individuals who drive the plot forward. But I've always felt like there's more to understanding a character than just their actions.
You're absolutely right. To truly connect with a character, you have to delve deeper. Consider their motivations. Why do they make the choices they do? What are their flaws, their secrets, their desires? Take Hamlet, for example. His internal struggles and indecision are what make him such a captivating and relatable character, even centuries after Shakespeare created him.
It's like you're peeling back the layers of an onion, revealing the complexities that make a character feel real.
Exactly.
And finally, we have theme.
Right.
I've always thought of theme as the underlying message or the big idea the story is exploring.
Precisely. It's the takeaway, the food for thought, that lingers long after you finish the book or walk out of the theater. Sometimes a theme is explicitly stated, but more often, it's subtly woven into the narrative.
Ah.
Think about The Great Gatsby. On the surface, it's a tale of love and loss set against the backdrop of the Roaring '20s. But underneath, it's a profound exploration of the American dream and the disillusionment that can come with pursuing it.
I've always been fascinated by how filmmakers can use visuals to tell a story, especially when you think about all the technical aspects involved.
Cinematography is a powerful tool.
Yeah.
Think of it as a language that filmmakers use to evoke emotions and guide your experience. It's more than just capturing pretty pictures. It's about using the camera to create meaning.
Oh, like in Blade Runner 2049, the way those sweeping wide shots capture the vastness and isolation of the city, and the neon-drenched color palette creates this amazing futuristic atmosphere.
Exactly. Those wide shots aren't just visually stunning, they also emphasize the insignificance of the characters within this sprawling dystopian world. And the color palette contributes to the overall mood and tone, setting the stage for a film noir aesthetic.
Then there's editing, how those individual shots are pieced together. I've noticed that a fast-paced edit can make an action scene way more intense.
Absolutely. The way a film is edited can dramatically affect the pace and rhythm of the story.
Right.
Mad Max, Fury Road is a prime example. The rapid cuts during the action sequences create a relentless energy and a visceral experience for the viewer.
It's like the editing itself becomes a character, propelling the story forward. And we can't forget about sound design. Music, dialogue, and sound effects can completely change the way we experience a scene. A Quiet Place was brilliant in the way it used silence to build suspense.
Silence can be just as powerful as a bombastic score. In A Quiet Place, the absence of sound heightens every other sense, making every rustle and creak feel like a potential threat. It forces the audience to lean in and pay attention, creating an incredibly immersive experience.
It's like the filmmakers are playing with our expectations. We're so used to movies being full of sound, so when that's taken away, it creates a whole new level of tension.
Okay, we've talked about film, but what about theater? Live performance has its own set of tools for captivating the audience.
Right. One of the first things you'll notice in a theatrical production is the stage design, which includes the set, props, and costumes.
It's all about creating a world that transports the audience.
Yes. Some productions are incredibly elaborate, while others take a minimalist approach.
I saw Hamilton a few years ago, and I was amazed by how they used a relatively simple set and a few key props to create such a dynamic and engaging world. It really allowed the performances and the story to shine through. That's a great example of how a minimalist approach can actually enhance the storytelling. By stripping away unnecessary distractions, the focus is placed squarely on the characters and their interactions. Every movement, every gesture becomes more meaningful.
Lighting is crucial for setting the mood and emphasizing specific moments in a play.
Yes, it is.
I'll never forget seeing Phantom of the Opera. The way they used shadows and spotlights to create mystery and suspense was magical.
Lighting can be incredibly evocative in theater, transforming a simple stage into a world of imagination. In Phantom, the play of light and shadow not only creates atmosphere, but also reflects the Phantom's own duality. His charisma and menace, his beauty and disfigurement.
It's like the lighting becomes a character itself, adding depth and complexity to the story. Oh, and we can't forget about blocking, the choreography of the actors' movements on stage. I've always been fascinated by how something as simple as where a character stands or how they interact with the set can convey so much about their relationships and emotions.
Blocking is a subtle but powerful tool in a director's arsenal. Think about A Streetcar Named Desire. The blocking in that play is incredibly deliberate, using the confined space of the Kowalski apartment to heighten the tension between the characters. Every movement, every gesture is charged with meaning.
You mentioning those plays makes me wonder, have you ever had a theater experience that just completely blew you away?
Oh, absolutely.
One that really brought all these elements together in a memorable way.
There was this production of Equus I saw years ago that left an indelible mark on me.
Wow.
The way they used movement and lighting to portray the raw emotion of the story was utterly captivating. The performance stayed with me long after I left the theater.
It sounds incredible. I'm adding that to my list of plays to see. But for now, let's shift our focus from the visual to the written word. It's time to level up and explore the nuances of language and writing styles.
Sounds good. All right, we've laid the foundation with plot, character, and theme. Now, let's dive into the world of writing styles and literary devices. Understanding these elements can really elevate your appreciation of literature.
I have to admit, this is the area where I sometimes feel a bit intimidated.
Oh, interesting.
But I'm always up for a challenge, especially if it means gaining a deeper understanding of the books I read.
Absolutely. It's all about recognizing the tools that authors use to craft their stories. Once you start noticing these techniques, it's like a whole new world opens up.
I can imagine.
You begin to see the intention behind every word choice, every sentence structure, and every image the author creates.
Okay, let's start with narrative voice. I've always been curious about how an author's choice of narrator can shape the entire reading experience.
Right. Narrative voice is the lens through which we experience the story. Is it a character speaking directly to us in the first person, like Holden Caulfield in The Catcher in the Rye? Or is it a more distant third-person narrator who observes the action from afar? It really makes a difference.
I tend to gravitate towards first-person narratives. There's something so immersive about being inside a character's head, experiencing their thoughts and emotions firsthand. It's like you're right there alongside them, living the story as they do.
First-person narration can be incredibly powerful in creating intimacy and immediacy. You're privy to the narrator's innermost thoughts, biases, and perceptions, which can make for a very compelling reading experience.
But third-person narration has its advantages too, right? Especially when an author wants to explore multiple characters' viewpoints or provide a broader perspective on the events unfolding.
Exactly. A skilled author can use third-person narration to weave together complex narratives, create suspense, and even offer subtle commentary on the characters and their actions. Think about a novel like Pride and Prejudice. Jane Austen masterfully employs third-person narration to satirize societal norms and explore the intricacies of relationships in 19th century England.
It's amazing how a simple choice like who's telling the story can have such a profound impact on the reader's understanding of the world the author has created. And then there's tone, which I've always found a bit trickier to pin down.
You can see that.
But I know it's crucial for setting the overall mood and conveying the author's attitude towards the subject matter.
Tone can range from serious to humorous, from formal to informal, from optimistic to cynical. It's all about how the author's voice comes through in the writing. Word choice, sentence structure, and imagery all contribute to the overall tone of a piece.
Right.
It's like the author's personality shining through.
Thinking back to our earlier example, The Great Gatsby has this melancholy and almost elegiac tone. It's like you can feel the weight of disillusionment and lost dreams in every sentence.
That's a great observation. Fitzgerald's use of language, especially his evocative descriptions and lyrical prose, creates that poignant tone that permeates the entire novel.
Okay, so we've talked about voice and tone. Now let's move on to something I've always found fascinating: literary devices. It's like the author has this whole toolbox of techniques they can use to add depth and meaning to their writing.
Literary devices are the tools of the trade. They allow authors to create vivid imagery, build suspense, and convey complex ideas in a way that engages the reader on multiple levels.
I love metaphors. It's like a little puzzle trying to figure out what the author is trying to say by comparing one thing to another. Like the green light in The Great Gatsby. It's not just a light across the bay. It represents Gatsby's yearning for Daisy, for a past he can never recapture.
That's a classic example. Metaphors can be incredibly powerful in conveying abstract concepts or emotions. They invite the reader to make connections and draw their own interpretations, adding layers of meaning to the text.
And then there's symbolism, where an object or action takes on a deeper meaning beyond its literal significance. The conch in Lord of the Flies comes to mind. It starts out representing order and civilization, but as the boys descend into savagery, it's shattered, symbolizing the loss of innocence and the breakdown of society.
Symbolism can be a bit more subtle than metaphors, but it can be equally potent in conveying complex ideas and themes. A skilled author can use symbols to foreshadow events, create atmosphere, or even challenge the reader's assumptions. Take, for instance, the recurring motif of birds in Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird. The mockingbird itself represents innocence and purity, while other birds, like the rabid dog, symbolize prejudice and fear. By weaving these symbols throughout the narrative, Lee creates a rich tapestry of meaning that deepens our understanding of the story's themes.
It's like the author is planting clues, inviting the reader to become an active participant in uncovering the deeper layers of meaning. It makes me want to go back and reread some of my favorite books with a fresh perspective, looking for all those hidden gems I might have missed the first time around.
That's the beauty of literature. There's always something new to discover, even in works you've read multiple times. As your understanding of literary techniques grows, so does your appreciation for the craft of writing.
This has been so insightful. I feel like I'm starting to see the matrix, noticing all these patterns and choices that authors make. But before we move on, I have to ask, have you ever encountered a literary device used in a way that just completely blew you away? Like, wow, I can't believe they did that.
Oh, there are so many examples that come to mind.
I bet.
But one that always stands out is Virginia Woolf's use of stream of consciousness narration in Mrs. Dalloway. The way she captures the fluid and fragmented nature of thoughts and perceptions is masterful. It's like you're inside Clarissa Dalloway's mind, experiencing the world through her senses and memories.
Okay, I'm definitely adding that to my reading list. But for now, let's shift gears a bit and think about how we can apply all this knowledge to our own discussions of art and literature. How do we go from being passive consumers to active participants in the conversation?
That's a great question. I think the key is to move beyond simply stating our opinions and start supporting those opinions with evidence from the works themselves. It's about having a conversation, not just delivering a monologue.
So instead of saying, I loved that movie, I should be able to articulate why I loved it, right? What were the specific elements that resonated with me? How did the filmmaker use the techniques we've discussed to create that emotional impact?
Exactly. Refer back to those core elements: plot, character, theme, and the various techniques we've explored. What stood out to you? What worked well? What didn't? And most importantly, why? Back up your observations with specific examples from the text or film.
So if I were to say the cinematography in Blade Runner 2049 was stunning, I should be prepared to back that up with specific examples, like the use of wide shots to convey the vastness of the city and the neon-drenched color palette that creates this futuristic noir atmosphere.
Precisely. It's about connecting your observations to the choices that the filmmakers or authors have made. It shows that you're engaging with the work on a deeper level, analyzing rather than just passively observing.
But what about when we don't like something? How do we express criticism in a way that's constructive and not just a rant? I'm always a little hesitant to be too critical, especially with friends.
It's all about being respectful and thoughtful in your critiques. Instead of saying, this book was boring, you could say, I found the pacing in the second act to be a bit slow, and I felt like the character development could have been more nuanced.
So it's about focusing on the specific elements that didn't work for you, rather than making sweeping generalizations. And it's about framing your criticism as an opportunity for growth and discussion, not a personal attack.
Exactly. Sometimes sharing our perspectives, even our critiques, can lead to a more enriching conversation and a deeper understanding of the work itself.
It's like we're all on this journey of discovery together, learning from each other's insights and expanding our appreciation for the art forms we love. Speaking of discoveries, didn't you promise some fun trivia?
Oh, that's right.
I'm ready for some mind-blowing facts. All right, it's time for that bonus round. I promised some fun trivia to impress your friends at your next dinner party or book club meeting.
Oh, I love a good trivia tidbit, especially when it comes to arts and literature.
Remember that fact about the longest film ever made? Oh, it's called Logistics, and it clocks in at a whopping 857 hours. That's over 35 days long.
I can't even imagine attempting to watch that. What kind of dedication would that even take?
You'd need a whole support team just to keep up with the snacks and bathroom breaks.
Right.
And speaking of long runs, did you know the longest running play is Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap? It's been performed continuously in London since 1952.
That's incredible. It really speaks to the enduring power of a good mystery.
And here's one that always makes me chuckle. Moby Dick, considered one of the great American novels, was actually a flop when it was first published.
It's amazing how tastes and critical reception can change over time. What's considered groundbreaking today might be forgotten tomorrow, and vice versa.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to think about.
It makes you wonder which works from our time will be considered classics in the future.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But that's part of the excitement, isn't it? Discovering those hidden gems and revisiting works with fresh eyes.
Absolutely. So after this deep dive into the world of arts and literature, I hope you're feeling empowered to jump into those conversations with confidence.
Remember, it's not about showing off or using fancy jargon. It's about sharing your passion, connecting with others, and deepening your own enjoyment.
Exactly. It's about embracing the joy of discovery and the power of stories to transport us, connect us, and challenge us.
So the next time you watch a film, see a play, or read a book, I encourage you to pay attention to the details we've discussed. What stands out to you? What makes you think? What sparks your curiosity?
Because ultimately that's what it's all about. Engaging with art on a deeper level and finding meaning in the stories that resonate with us.
Go out there, fellow art lovers, and embrace the conversation. You never know what insights you might uncover.
Happy exploring, everyone.